Now there are specific climates where soils occur with a very thick A horizon, so the top horizon with high organic matter content. And you find them in steppe zones, in the prairie soils in the United States, and the steppe areas in Ukraine and Russia, China. And if you look at this soil, well, this is spectacular. Normally when you see a soil you have this black top layer, and here this top layer is easily 1 meter deep. So this means very high organic carbon content, a very black soil, and otherwise it also has beautiful properties like a good structure, high nutrient reserve, good buffering capacity, good water storage capacity. So a very beautiful soil, but it has very specific conditions under which it forms and also requires a very specific management. So how are they formed? These soils typically form on loess, which is a nutrient-rich wind-blown deposit sediment. And in that calcium-rich loess, these soils develop, their natural vegetation is high grass steppe, so high biomass development, and then you have rodents, so mole-like creatures, that take the biomass down into the soil and mix the organic matter with mineral components. The climate they occur in has a warm, wet spring, a short, hot summer, and then a very cold, long winter. And that means that during spring this organic matter pump is working, and then during the very cold winter everything is stopped but the organic matter is conserved. Now these soils were for a long time of their history, the most time of their history, under natural vegetation, but at a certain moment when population grew, people started plowing these soils, both in the prairies and in the steppe. And at first they got bumper crops, so very high yields, because of the natural fertility of the soil, but then next years there could be a misharvest, and that even led to famines. How come? The climate is very specific. You have a very strong cold winter and a wet spring, but annual rainfall is rather low. It can be 200 to 500 millimeters of rain, which is not a lot for agriculture. And then you have wet and dry years, of course. So in a wet year you are happy, but in a dry year you have crop failure. And the other problem with these soils is if you start plowing them, you destroy the structure. And if you destroy the structure, it means that the aggregates turn into loose particles, and what happens then in the summer, the soil is taken by wind and is replaced by wind, and you get massive wind erosion. And that led to the Dust Bowl in America in the 1930s, and which meant massive loss of fertile topsoil, causing dust storms, killing actually people and livestock, and leading to famines. And this degradation unfortunately goes on in the world as these very beautiful Chernozems, these are called, the SteppeSoils. That's a Russian name because the history of these soils was developed by Russian scientists. And the Phaeozems, or mollisols as they are called in American classification, are found on the steppe. So beautiful soils, but in a particular climate, and very carefully management needed.